Paradise in flames in Hawaii, where incredibly fast-moving wildfires on the island of Maui have claimed at least 6 lives overnight, framing parts of the picturesque tourist destination against a hellish backdrop. Homes, businesses, and the historic town of Lahaina destroyed. Power and communications on the island crippled. Residents and visitors urgently evacuated. Others literally running for their lives in desperate sprints to the ocean to escape the heat and smoke. Many of the injured were treated for burns. The fire sweeping across the western part of Maui, driven by strong winds fueled by a hurricane hundreds of miles away that initially kept firefighting helicopters on the ground. Miguel Almaguer has made his way to Maui and has this late report.
The apocalyptic scene in Maui unfolded before sunrise. An island wildfire so explosive, flames poured into the Pacific, forcing the desperate to plunge into the ocean to escape the inferno.
Careful right here.
The Coast Guard quickly plucking roughly a dozen from the water, as witnesses say the unstoppable blaze ripped across homes and took at least 6 lives.
The smoke was just so thick. People were running around looking for refuge. The heat was unbearable.
During the chaotic evacuation,
Oh my God.
hospitals treating at least 20 burn victims quickly became overwhelmed. 911 service went down, cell coverage is out, and the National Guard was ordered in to help.
It really took us by surprise.
As 70-mile-an-hour winds fanned the flames, the air attack was grounded. Quickly, multiple fires erupted. Historic sections of Lahaina were swallowed by flames and engulfed in smoke.
This is not a safe place to be. On certain parts of Maui, we have shelters that are overrun.
Calling the unfolding catastrophe unprecedented, state officials say some of Maui is without power. Roads are blocked, hotels are closing, and thousands of tourists and locals are trying to flee.
Our stuff is still at our hotel, so we are here at the airport with a flight tonight with no stuff. The firestorm came through and took everything with it.
But for those with nowhere to go or no way out, the extent of the damage is still unclear.
Local people have lost everything. They've lost their house, they've lost their animals, and it's devastating.
Tonight, this is the misery in Maui as a wildfire turns this tropical paradise into a hellish nightmare.
Here at the airport and across the island, some 4,000 people are trying to leave Maui, which is still under a state of emergency. Airlines are sold out and hotels are evacuating. Many have nowhere to turn.
Thanks for watching our YouTube.
We are seeing loss of life here. As you know, the number has been rising and we will continue to see loss of life.
It's just complete devastation. We've talked to a lot of the people at the resort we were staying. They were bringing the displaced families over there. There were people that weren't able to know if their house was still there, where their family members were.
Well, I actually drove through Lahaina today and it was to the ground, nothing. Like the whole town was gone.
When you see the full extent of the destruction of Lahaina, it will shock you. It does appear like a bomb and fire went off, if I may. And all of those buildings virtually are going to have to be rebuilt. It will be a new Lahaina.
First thing is, for all of the fires, they haven't been able to determine what ignited the fires. There's 3 conditions that we got from the National Weather Service. They call it a red flag alert. So that's dry conditions, right? So you got dry field, trees, plants. You got low humidity and high winds. So winds 20 miles per hour or greater. And we had all of those 3 through the end of today. So we knew the conditions were very dangerous for wildfires. And then the reason it spread so fast is there are reports of gusts of up to 85 miles per hour. So, you know, that is so fast, and that's why Maui County had such a hard time doing containment of the fire, and because the winds were so high, we couldn't provide the helicopters to do the water bucket support. As an example, the military helicopters, their limitation to start the aircraft or shut down is 45 knots, about 30 something miles per hour, and it was far in excess of that, so we couldn't get those helicopters into the firefighting, fire suppression mission until today.
Thanks for watching our
So the first thing is, for all of the fires, they haven't been able to
major wildfires across California. In the north, a Kincaid fire so big it looks like this. This is 85 miles away in San Francisco. Meanwhile, in Southern California, they're bracing for those dangerous Santa Ana winds. Matt Gutman is in Los Angeles, has the latest for us. Good morning, Matt.
Hey, good morning, Robin. We actually just lost a light because the winds are starting to pick up here. And you can see those firefighters behind me. They're literally taking a last stand. Just over the past half hour, the winds have kicked up, and you can see it blowing those singed palm trees behind me. Now, the fear is that the wind is going to kick up embers and cast them perhaps miles downrange, taking them from destructed areas like this and starting new fires. Now, these red flag warnings are underway in 43 California counties this morning. That applies to 27 million people.
Overnight, that rare new video showing the spark which incinerated 12 homes, damaged 5 others in LA's
43 California counties this morning. That applies to 27 million people.
Overnight, that rare new video showing the spark which incinerated 12 homes, damaged 5 others in LA's pricey Brentwood neighborhood. Take another look. Officials claiming high winds carried a tree branch into a city power line. Those sparks igniting the flames, fueling that fire. The charred remains of structures spanning nearly 650 acres. Over 20,000 residents remain under mandatory evacuation orders.
I understand how frightening it is to live in a canyon where these
a massive concave reflective surface. It will focus the sun's beam in a deadly ray.
First off, I'd like to thank the good people at Tianjin Smelting and Mining and Donuts and Tops for neutralizing our wonderful, deadly new lard lead.
Yeah, that's great.
They'll grow back. The time for mourning and blaming our mayors has passed. We will rebuild. We will rebuild.
We will rebuild. We